I recently got back from spending a week hiking alone in Glacier National Park, and it did not go as planned.
If you are not in that parking lot, I'd say between 5:30 and 6:30, you will not get a spot. Pretty sure I pulled my calf muscle within the first 1 mile of this hike. Hopefully, my calf will feel better in the morning that I can do one last hike before leaving Glacier.
This was the hike I was supposed to go on today.
A lot of people up here.
This was not how I pictured my week-long solo trip in Glacier would go. But before I get into the details of what really happened, let me take you back to the beginning when I was planning my trip. Glacier is wild, big, and kind of intimidating, which is very on brand for Montana's backcountry. I decided to give myself a week this summer and take myself on a solo trip so that I could start getting to know this popular, well-loved, and highly visited national park. When I was originally planning my solo trip to Glacier, I gave myself 5 days to spend in the park, starting on a Monday and then coming back home to Missoula on a Friday. During those 5 days, I planned on camping in my car. So I made campsite reservations at Johnson's of St. Mary RV Park for Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday night. On Wednesday night, I made a campsite reservation at the Two Medicine Campground. I then created routes using Onyx Backcountry for some of the park's most popular trails I wanted to hike during my solo trip, like the Highline Trail and Hidden Lake Trail up at Logan Pass, Grinnell Glacier near Manny Glacier, and the Two Medicine Lake Loop. Onyx Backcountry is my go-to hiking app I always use to plan all of my outdoor adventures, including all of the hiking routes I created and downloaded for my solo week in Glacier. If you're looking for help with planning your next trip, click the link down in the video description below to check out Onyx Backcountry. Use promo code HungryHiker to get 20% off of your purchase of Onyx Backcountry or to start a free 14-day trial of Onyx Backcountry Elite. Thanks to Onyx Backcountry for supporting my channel and for sponsoring this portion of the video. I recently read a book that had a quote which summed up my solo week in Glacier perfectly. The quote said, "The most important part of every plan is planning on your plan not going according to plan." Yeah, this is pretty much how my solo week in Glacier National Park ended up going because my original itinerary did not go as planned. So here's what really happened. On Monday, I left Missoula at 4:45 a.m. in order to get into the west entrance of the park by 7 a.m. Even though I had a timed entry reservation to drive the Going to the Sun Road from the west entrance up to Logan Pass. My hope was to get up to Logan Pass early enough to get a parking spot and hike the Hidden Lake Trail. By the time I got up to Logan Pass by 8 a.m., the parking lot was full. There was also a storm rolling in and the entire area was socked in with fog. So even if I did find a parking spot, I wouldn't have been able to see anything anyways. So I scrapped that idea and kept driving east to St. Mary. In St. Mary, I had a reservation for a campsite at the Johnson's of St. Mary RV Park for both Monday and Tuesday night, where I'd be sleeping in my car. With the storm rolling in and being forecasted to go through the end of the day on Tuesday, I decided to hang out both in St. Mary and in my car, waiting for the storm to pass, instead of going hiking on Monday and Tuesday. Since I'd now missed 2 days of the week for hiking, I decided to give up the idea of hiking Grinnell Glacier for a couple reasons. One, since there was major construction going on in the Manny Glacier Valley, there was no vehicle, bike, or foot traffic allowed in the area. Instead, day hikers would need to obtain a Manny Glacier Day Hiker Shuttle ticket, which seemed to be competitive since there were only a limited number of tickets available each day. And the trail I wanted to originally hike, Grinnell Glacier, was only open a few miles up to the overlook. The rest of the trail that led to the glacier was closed due to snow and bear frequenting. So even if I was able to navigate through the trip planning logistical nightmare just to get into the area, I wouldn't be able to hike the whole trail I wanted to hike anyways. On Wednesday, the weather for Logan Pass was forecasted to be warm and sunny. So I woke up early Wednesday morning, drove up to the pass, and parked my car in the parking lot by 5:30 a.m. Since I was here so early, I could either stay up and watch the sunrise or take a 2-hour nap in my car. I opted for the nap. After a couple hours, I got up from my nap, got ready for my hike, and set out to hike the Highline Trail. The Highline Trail is an 11-mile hike that is easily one of Glacier's most popular and scenic trails. It's known for its incredible views, challenging terrain, and the opportunity to see wildlife along the way, all of which absolutely lived up to all the hype I've been hearing about this trail.
I made it to Glacier, but it took me a couple days to get to Logan Pass because there was a storm that rolled in the day that I came into the park. If you are not in that parking lot, I'd say between 5:30 and 6:30, you will not get a spot. There's a lot of people out here, understandably so. It's incredibly beautiful. Clear blue skies. I don't even see a cloud in the sky. I can't even believe that there was a storm yesterday. And now I'm about to go and hike a trail that I've been wanting to hike for a long time. pretty sure I pulled my calf muscle within the first 1 mile of this hike, and I didn't want to turn around because this is supposed to be the best weather day of the week. My original plan was I was going to hike to the chalet and then come back, but I think if I hike a few more miles past the chalet, I get down to the road, catch the shuttle, and take the shuttle back to Logan Pass. Hopefully my calf doesn't feel any worse, but it has definitely slowed me down quite a bit. But it's gorgeous out here. Made it off the Glacier Overlook Trail. Now I'm 0.6 miles away from the chalet. Just left the chalet, had my PB&J sandwich with some chips and some snacks, some water, some electrolytes. My calf is not feeling any better. It's really sore, and it's definitely slowed me down quite a bit. So I've made the decision to finish the Highline Trail and go 4 miles down to, I think it's called the Granite Park Loop trailhead, catch a shuttle back to Logan Pass instead of hiking back in the opposite direction like I had originally planned. I did not plan on pulling my calf muscle within the first mile of this hike. So it's just been so frustrating because everything else is fine. I feel fine. It's beautiful. But my calf is super sore. So I'd rather do 4 miles and it's downhill than 7 miles back down and up. That's just my hike today. It's 6:15 and there are people still looking for a parking spot here at Logan Pass. Why do people do this? I mean, you have all this space over here, and yet Iowa, you want to cramp in on my space to get into my driver's side. Cool.
After making it back to my car up at Logan Pass, I headed back east towards St. Mary, where I would drive down to 2 Medicine, where I had a campsite reservation at the campground for the night. Also, I literally just pulled up to this campground and I already love it so much. This is probably going to be one of my favorite parts of Glacier because there's not a lot of people here. Logan Pass was beautiful, but it was insanely busy. There were so many people. When the shuttle dropped us off at Logan Pass, there were 90 people waiting for a shuttle to go to the west side. And there's just people everywhere. And there's still people looking for parking spots at 6:15 p.m. So this is more my speed. Less people, still super beautiful, but not crowded. Since I don't anticipate it raining tonight or being super cold, I do want to have some airflow in my car when I'm sleeping, and I don't want the bugs to come in. So I have these cheap window covers that I got from Amazon a few years ago that I literally just put over my window. And then I can roll down my window and the bugs won't come in. And they're tinted, so it's hard for people to see into, which is pretty awesome. So after giving myself a quick white bath and having leftover pizza for dinner, I decided to climb into my car and get to bed early in hopes of resting my calf and maybe getting another hike in tomorrow morning.
Good morning from Two Medicine Lake. This is where I camped last night. This is considered East Glacier, and I think this is definitely my preferred section of Glacier. While there are still people here, there's not as many people here, so I don't feel like I'm fighting to get a parking spot, fighting to get a campsite. Like, things feel very chill here. Now, granted, I did have a reservation for my campsite, which campsites here are reservation only, but I didn't feel overcrowded like I did up at Logan Pass yesterday. So since my calf isn't feeling 100% today, I decided to not stress it, give it some rest. I'm skipping the hike that I was going to do around Two Medicine Lake, and I'm going to go back to St. Mary. I'm going to check in for my tent site and just kind of chill. Like, there's a mercantile on the way that I heard that has pastries. Apparently the Huckleberry Bear Claw is not to be missed. Don't threaten me with a good time. And hopefully my calf will feel better in the morning, that I can do one last hike before leaving Glacier. This trip has taught me that you can have the best intentions with a plan, but plans don't go always according to plan, and that it's so important to be flexible and go with the flow, which is a lesson that I learned early on my PCT through hike back in 2018. I tried to overplan that hike like nobody's business because I was terrified. I'd never done a big trip like that before, and I figured the more that I planned it, the less I'd have to fear. Within the first week of being out on trail, the whole plan went out the window, and that was okay. So having a plan is good, but if it doesn't go according to plan, it's okay. Relax, go with the flow, and have a plan B or plan C. Whether I got to accomplish everything on my itinerary or I had to pivot, it's totally fine. I'm having the trip that I'm supposed to have, and I'm having an amazing time. For breakfast this morning, I'm having leftover pizza that I got in St. Mary a couple days ago, which was very intentional. I purposely ordered a whole pizza so I not only had dinner that night, but also had breakfast and dinner and breakfast, because I knew that there wouldn't be any food out here, and I really didn't plan anything for food other than peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and chips and hiking snacks. I just wanted to keep it easy, and pizza's always easy, and the pizza in St. Mary is really good.
This was the hike I was supposed to go on today.
I'll just have to come back. Oh, I will be back. Just stopped by the mercantile that was highly recommended from the people at the Johnson RV Park. They told me to get a Huckleberry Bear Claw, which I will have for breakfast tomorrow. And then I got for lunch turkey sandwich, a Huckleberry brownie, and then for right now, I got to eat, it's a veggie breakfast sandwich. Pretty good. I know, root beer with a veggie breakfast sandwich, but live your best life.
Okay, I just spent $19 on Windex, a roll of paper towels, and a bag of ice here in St. Mary. I know, I get it. It's a tourist town, not many options. It's probably expensive to get stuff here. But damn, $19 for Windex, one roll of paper towels, and one bag of ice. Why did I get Windex and paper towels? Because when I sleep in my car, even though I have airflow going through there, still there's some condensation that builds up on the windows. And then when I'm driving, especially if the sun is hitting my windows, it makes it hard to see. I was going to bring Windex and paper towels from home. I actually thought I had some in the back of my car and I didn't. So I decided to stop at the little supermarket in town and get some so I can clean my windows so I can actually see out of my windows when I'm driving the Going to the Sun road tomorrow. And that's a road I want to see out of my window for sure. So I have some time this afternoon. I'm gonna wash my windows and get them all ready for my drive up to Logan Pass and down the Going to the Sun road tomorrow. She is all ready for a sunny drive on the Going to the Sun road. Also, let's give it up for my car. She's having a moment with her brand new all-terrain tires.
There's definitely a storm rolling in. There's forecasted for scattered showers, maybe some thunder showers. I keep hearing thunder off in the distance, but it doesn't sound very close. The forecast for 2 Medicine was calling for the same thing. It was calling for thunder showers after noon, which if I hadn't pulled my calf muscle, I would have still been on trail and might have gotten caught in a thunderstorm. So I feel like everything happens for a reason. Something that this tent site has that my tent site last night didn't have is a warm shower. So I didn't get a shower after my crazy big hike yesterday, and it's still pretty quiet around here. I think this place will pick up probably around 4 or 5. So now's the time to take a shower because no one else is going to be in the bathhouse. So I'm going to go take a shower, get that done, and then I could just chill for the rest of the day. I think I'll probably read my book and just hang out. Just as I got out of the shower, it started raining. And I could hear the thunder off in the distance, but now I can hear it moving. The storm is definitely coming up overhead. So I'm getting in the car. I've got it all set up, ready to go. And I guess I'm gonna read my book in the car. So the rain has stopped and I decided to have my dinner on the picnic table. My dinner tonight is this turkey sandwich I got from the Mercantile, huckleberry brownie for dessert. So the plan for tomorrow is I'm going to get up at 4:30, probably leave here by 4:45, and get up to Logan Pass by 5:30 and get a parking spot, just like I did on Wednesday. That seemed to be the move. The trail I want to hike tomorrow is Hidden Lake, which is a much shorter hike than the one I did on Wednesday. I don't know if it's 6 miles or 8 miles round trip, but shorter hike, less elevation gain, and as far as my calf goes, it feels much better. I've been not really walking around a whole lot, but from the little walking I've done, like around the lake before I left 2 Medicine today, and then a little bit in town and here at camp, it's not nearly as sore as it was yesterday. I really want to do this hike tomorrow. I also don't want to further injure myself, but I think if I just take it easy and go slow, I should be fine. Huckleberry brownie, super good.
Shortly after getting up to the pass and parking my car, I decided to take a 2-hour nap before starting my hike.
The parking lot is nuts. Getting here at 5:30 is the move. Took a 2-hour nap, got my hiking stuff together, eating my huckleberry bear claw for breakfast, and then I'm gonna start my hike. A lot of people up here, a lot of people.
This trail was pretty crowded this morning. Not surprised because of the nice weather and the scenery was beautiful. But along the way, I saw some other park visitors doing some interesting things. Unfortunately, the trail was closed at the overlook due to bear frequenting, so I wasn't able to hike all the way down to the lake. So I turned back around and headed towards the car to start my 3.5-hour drive back home to Missoula. Want to feel confident hiking alone even when things don't go as planned? That's what I help women do inside my coaching program, the Confident Solo Female Backpacker System. Click the link down in the description to learn more. Curious about hiking gear I use for this trip? Click the link in the video description below for my hiking gear list, which includes links on where you can find everything online. Okay, now that I've made it home and I got myself a really good burger, shout out to Frugals, I just want to reflect back on the week and maybe what I would do differently. Would I visit Glacier again? Absolutely. I cannot wait to go back to Glacier. I can see why it's so popular. Something I would do differently next time is I would probably skip the whole Logan Pass area, the whole driving, going to the Sun Road. I feel like I've done it once. I drove it both ways. I probably don't need to do it again. And Logan Pass, I mean, there's really only the Highline Trail, which I did, and that was awesome. And then on the other side is Hidden Lake, but you can only hike to the overlook. At that point, the trail was closed. You could not go down to the lake because of bear frequenting. On my way home today, as soon as I got service, I got a text message from Glacier road updates and the trail updates, and they just opened the entire Hidden Lake Trail. Something I would do differently is I would probably go the beginning of August just to make sure more snow is melted out and trails have had a chance to like fully open, because one of the trails that I originally wanted to do was closed because of snow and also bear frequenting. To Medicine, hands down, was probably my most favorite section of the entire park that I visited this trip. I would stay there 2 nights and I would definitely hike in that area. The CDT goes through that area. Something I want to do is I want to come back and backpack in Glacier, and I want to backpack the CDT section in Glacier. I think that would be really fun and beautiful and less people-y. And then I also want to make it to Manny Glacier. When I hiked the Highline Trail, I did go up to the Glacier Overlook and I got to look down and see Grinnell Glacier. So that was cool. I got a little peep of Grinnell Glacier, but I didn't actually get to go to the glacier. So that's something I would definitely do different next time. And hopefully there won't be any construction. Staying in St. Mary was awesome. There wasn't a whole lot of restaurants, amenities to choose from, but I'm glad I went to Logan Pass
Pass. I'm glad I did the Highline Trail. I'm glad I did Hidden Lake. But the whole getting up at 4:30 to get a parking spot by 5:30, that was just not my favorite. I'm super stoked that I spent a whole week in Glacier by myself. I never felt lonely, even though I was by myself. There was tons of people around. Stopping at the Mercantile on my way back from Two Medicine back to St. Mary, absolute must stop. You must stop there. Camping at Johnson RV Park, that was awesome. It was perfect. I had warm showers. I actually have an extra token, so I'll probably use it next year. I was gonna do 4 hikes and only did 2 of them. But really, this trip was all about my first experience of really getting into Glacier and really getting to learn the park and figuring out my bearings in the park. I just had to learn my way around and lay of the land in the park. So when I plan my next trip, I know where to go. I wanted to do this up at Logan Pass before I drove home, but honestly, like, there were so many people harassing me for my parking spot, like, it just did not feel comfortable. And also I just felt kind of antsy to get out of there, just away from the crowd. So now I'm back home in Missoula. I'm about to eat my delicious burger that I'm foaming at the mouth for. I am so excited that I did that trip, and hopefully this will help inspire you to plan your own trip to Glacier. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for new videos each week, and hit the bell icon to get notified each time new videos are posted. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy trails and keep on trekking. Okay, now I have to clean out this car and get ready for the next adventure.